Who was your biggest Hollywood crush when you were a teen?
I couldn't find anyone else with this answer, although I think she has to be somewhere in the mass of answers. But for old folks like me, there can be only one, Dame Diana Rigg. Note: this is the only woman ever to marry James Bond. I saw Labyrinth as a kid and I was just sold instantly. Not just by the awesome Jim Henson dolls and the late great David Bowie's musical contributions, but by Jennifer Connelly, the young lead actress. She really was something else. Something about the dark hair, the pale skin and those bright green eyes just hypnotized me and put me under a wicked spell I'm somehow still under. She had an amazing smile, too. Just cuteness all around. I was sold the moment. And I'll never be unsold on Jennifer Connelly. Paul Bettany as a lucky man. I've had my fair share of Hollywood crushes when I was younger. But this is the one that stands out the most, by far. Some people just have that it factor, and she has it. She is it. Jennifer Connelly matured into her looks and into her acting, and she made some great movies over the years. But I still maintain and will maintain until the end of my earthly days that young Jennifer Connelly was a solid 11. Anne Hathaway. I can't explain. She ticks some of my boxes: brunette, big eyes, cute smile, alabaster complexion, but not all of them. Not even close. She's skinnier than I usually like for one thing. And it's not as if she's ever been in a movie I liked. As hard as I was crushing on her, I could barely bring myself to watch Ella Enchanted. And I never could stomach The Princess Diaries, Nicholas Nickleby. Or even less family-friendly fare like Brokeback Mountain. Maybe it was Anne's voice. Something about her elocution has always tickled my eardrums. I'm a sucker for any dame with a paresthesia-inducing voice, especially a tall, pale brunette. But it could have been anything, or nothing. Sometimes we develop crushes on people for no apparent reason. And in the early and mid-2000s, Anne Hathaway had some je ne sais quoi that really got my engines revving. By the time The Devil Wears Prada came out, when I was 19 years old, my interest in Ms. Hathaway had waned. She was rapidly being supplanted by another tall brunette, oh yeah. Lauren Graham, baby. Hottest TV mom ever.
Phoebe Cates, the ubiquitous pinup girl of our time. She starred in more than a dozen movies that included Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Gremlins, and Drop Dead Fred. Brooke Shields, this breathtaking beauty took the world by storm with The Blue Lagoon and then followed it up with more than 24 movies that included Endless Love, Pretty Baby and Sahara. If you've seen American Pie or Scary Movie, you know exactly who this is. Shannon Elizabeth. Like thousands of other youngsters at the time, I fell head over heels for her. I didn't even know what having a crush on someone meant, and I already had a crush on her. She was absolutely gorgeous, and hilarious. But unfortunately for her, her career never took off. She had the looks, she had the charisma, and even though she wasn't a great actress, she could have definitely continued acting for years. I suppose it was a combination of roles in pretty terrible projects and constantly being sexualized in movies and photoshoots that typecasted her, dooming her career. But fear not, my fellow Shannon crushers, as she is doing quite well for herself. Since she couldn't catch a break on the silver screen again, she took a hard turn onto reality TV. She's been on shows like Celebrity Big Brother and Dancing with the Stars, and when she wasn't doing that, she was playing poker. She's actually really good, as she has won a total of $235,866 in games and tournaments. In 2016 she moved to Cape Town, South Africa. There, she has the Shannon Elizabeth Foundation that promotes conservation and stands up to a growing poaching situation in Africa. If you would like to know more, feel free to visit their website. The Shannon Elizabeth Foundation. Donate now. Thank you for reading. Oh, the good old days of pining away for Hollywood crushes, smiley face. You know, it's hard for me to pick just one. So I'm going to include 5 instead. So, as a teen, I'd say that the biggest crushes I had were actresses like Sarah Michelle Gellar, from BTVS, Gillian Anderson, from X-Files, Peri Gilpin, from Frasier, Winona Ryder, from Boys, Edward Scissorhands, etc., although many of her movies were before I was a teen, but I saw them when I was a teen. And finally Monica Bellucci, from Malina. I still like them all, and am glad to see them in any movie or other media appearance they may come in. I'm a bit bummed that Peri Gilpin hasn't done anything other than Frasier, and Sarah Michelle Gellar hasn't done as much as I'd have liked her to have, but I'm happy the others are still doing great. I was born in 1995. Chris Evans was my crush when I was 17, and he still is my biggest crush. He's funny and seems like a humble person. He was so cute in the movie, Cellular. I thought, who's this hottie? So dashing. When, suddenly, my Jewish mother arrived home and she switched off the television. So I had to do a little research the next morning and discovered the movie was released in 2004. Several years later, in 2014, he played Steve Rogers' Captain America, the first Avenger. I said to myself, I'm going to find a man like Chris Evans. Until reality hit me like a truck. But who knows, maybe I would get a chance to meet him someday. He's single. Emma Watson. Emma Watson has been a prominent part of our lives since childhood. We all loved her in the Harry Potter franchise, and she still continues to surprise us. Her character of Hermione Granger can be regarded as one of the most iconic characters in Hollywood, and there is not a single Harry Potter fan who did not have a crush on Emma Watson. Number 1. Youngest person to appear on Teen Vogue cover. Emma Watson started her career at the age of 9, and by the time she was a teenager she had already achieved so much more than most of us can even imagine. At the age of 15, apart from being one of the most popular actresses in the world, she became the youngest person to appear on the cover of Teen Vogue magazine. What were you doing when you were 15? Number 2. Highest grossing actress of the decade. The Harry Potter franchise became a sensation thanks to all the lovable characters and the amazing plot. Harry Potter movies were also big at the box office. It decimated all the previous records. Thanks to that, Emma Watson was named the highest grossing actress of the decade, 2000-09, by the Guinness Book of World Records. Her movies in the past decade grossed over $5.4 billion worldwide. Hayden Christensen. I first saw him on Life as a House as Sam Monroe and never got over it. He's gorgeous still. He's tall and was a model as well. I still have a crush on this guy. He was even hot, all gothic and angsty like he is above. He looks hot in a suit too. Biggest? I'm not sure I could narrow it down to one. Let's do top 5. Jared Leto, Matt LeBlanc, Paul Rudd, Ethan Hawke and Henry Thomas. And these are just the Hollywood actors. This doesn't even include the musicians I crushed on back in the day.